Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. It's been a while since we covered a big market cap project, and I think it's time to cover some of the big market caps in our channel because the market is moving either sideways or it is going down, and this is some of the opportunities where you can kind of like scoop in and get some of these low market cap gems that you obviously know that will continue to exist to several decades and even even centuries if possible, right? And by getting in at this price point for some of the large market cap tokens, you are basically buying them at a really good discount, and by hodling them long term, you are getting a guaranteed appreciation in price as the ecosystem grows and as the kind of cryptocurrency market becomes more and more mainstream, right? So with that in mind, I want to cover a project that I have been watching for quite some time, and I believe that this project has an incredibly high potential to not only replace the gaming space but also create a new kind of like asset class called tokenized real estate or in-game tokenized items that can probably be worth millions and millions of dollars in the future, right? And this project is called Decentraland or the Mana token, right? Again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects that we cover on our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to their website decentraland.org in order to learn more about this project, right? Again, for people who already know Decentraland, this video may not necessarily be for you, although you may want to wait till the end for my price prediction for this token. But for people who are new and who don't really know what Decentraland is basically, as they say on their website, you can basically create, explore, and trade in the first ever virtual world owned by its users. Again, it's one of the first virtual worlds that was created on the Ethereum blockchain, and this project has kind of like since exploded in price. And with the first ever NFT bull run that happened this year, this project saw incredibly high growth, exponential price appreciation, and now it's kind of like in the cooling phase, and that's why I wanted to cover this token to you guys, because I believe that this token can still outperform its all-time highs in the long run, right? So if you want to access this, it's basically a game as like Grand Theft Auto, where you can kind of like be a part of the virtual world, buy real estate, buy in-game items, trade, interact with people. You can do a lot of things in this game, and this game offers unlimited opportunities for people who play any type of any genre of games, right? And if you want to test this out, which I highly recommend you do, click the get started button, and I can assure you that you'll be mind blown by this game, right? So again, explore, lose yourself in an amazing evolving world, explore lands owned by users to experience incredible scenes and structures, from a space adventure to a medieval dungeon maze to entire villages crafted from the minds of community members. Again, as this game suggests, you are basically able to interact with in-game non-fungible tokens called lands. Again, just like in the real world, in Decentraland, lands are basically commodities that people can buy and own, and depending on the location where you own a land NFT, your appreciation for the land will kind of grow, because you're basically owning a form of digital real estate, right? You can build on top of your lands, you can interact with other people's buildings, and if you go to Decentraland and explore the world, you can clearly see that there are several monumental structures that have been built on Decentraland, and you can kind of do the same thing if you manage to own a land. You kind of can create your own kind of empire here, right? Which is incredible, and I think this is going to be something that will continue to grow, not only with the NFT space, but it will kind of create its own unique market in the future, where currently you have the real estate market in the real world. Similarly, in the future, you will have a subgroup of real estate, which will probably be like virtual real estate, which although for some people it may sound absurd that you are buying a piece of land in a virtual reality world. It's actually something that you can invest in the future, and it will kind of appreciate just like how regular real estate appreciate, right? So that's the best thing about Decentraland. Again, you can click on the Start Exploring button in order to access their actual DApp. And if you see Create, test the limits of your imagination, create scenes, artworks, challenges, and more using the simple builder tool, then take part in events to win prizes. For more experienced creators, the SDK provides the tools to fill the world with social games and applications. So again, as you're saying, you can create any kind of structures that you want. You can basically create scenes, you can basically create artworks, you can also create challenges for people, and be a participant in other people's challenges, and you can kind of like run your imagination go wild, right? You can also use their simple builder tool, and which can kind of like be used to build things and also take part in events to win prizes. And for people with more experience in virtual reality building, you can kind of like the software development kit kind of provides tools to fill the world with social games and applications. You can kind of create your own games and add it to the Decentraland universe so that other people can interact with it, right? So there's lots of opportunities to build and customize your own kind of like reality within Decentraland, and it's again friendly for developers to use, and also for retail investors who not only want to invest in this token but also want to be a part of the virtual reality world, right? Trade, the virtual destination for digital assets. Buy and sell land, estates, avatar variables, and names in the Decentraland marketplace, stocking the very best digital goods and paraphernalia, I think backed by the Ethereum blockchain. So again, this is going to be potentially one of the one-stop shops for everything that's digital asset, right? Because one of the main kind of like benefits of Decentraland is since it allows you to create your own kind of like buildings or monuments or whatever. People who have been early participants of this project have managed to create their own art museums or art exhibits, and any digital art that they purchase from OpenSea or Rarible, they showcase it on their museum, which can be kind of digitally seen. So it kind of gives you this experience where you're basically in a museum, but you're not actually in a museum. You're in a digital museum where you can see digital art being presented in high quality, right? And you can obviously interact with it the way you would actually interact with a real world art, and that's pretty cool. And in fact, Beeple's most expensive collage of artwork, which was sold for $69 million, was purchased by an entrepreneur in Singapore who basically wants to feature that artwork in a museum that he wants to create in Decentraland, right? So this thing is going to be huge, and you can kind of see that there's going to be an avalanche of people who are going to come into this project pretty soon, including institutions, right? Can't decide where to start. You can basically kind of see several different features within the game. NFT creep art exhibit. Again, this is what I was talking about when I said there's going to be there are already museums or kind of like art exhibits that are available within Decentraland that showcases artists' contributions or artists' artwork from several different parts of the world in a virtual reality way, right? Which is something that you guys can obviously see. You can also see some of the other updates where they're stating that Floyd Mayweather Jr. NFT drop at the BitBuzz gallery. So again, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is basically, again, if you guys are not following the Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul boxing match, he's basically a very popular, boxer, and his NFT or his kind of collectible, digital NFT artwork is kind of like also available on Decentraland for people to see. You can also see some other kind of like similar art exhibits and exhibitions that are available for people with different taste in artwork. You can also see Ethermon dig, battle and earn kind of within Decentraland. Federated Reserve launch party, which is also something that's available. Wide artwork at Museum District. Again, so many different kind of ways where you can interact with digital art, right? You can click on the jump in to kind of like look at the location directly. Again, all you need is basically a MetaMask wallet, and I think that's pretty much it. You can kind of see the world, but if you want to interact, you would need their native token Mana, or their Mana token, which is basically the native cryptocurrency, and you also need some Ethereum as gas fees, right? So about Decentraland, determine the future of the virtual world. The first fully decentralized world, Decentraland is controlled via the DAO, which owns the most important smart contracts and assets of Decentraland. Via the DAO, you decide and vote on how the world works. Again, so if you're wondering who's basically controlling Decentraland, Decentraland is not controlled by any centralized entity or even the developers themselves. It's controlled by the people. Every decentralized autonomous organization, it's an organization that kind of like allows for token holders to participate in the governance and ensure that everything is happening in a decentralized manner. So similar to that, Decentraland also has its own DAO, which oversees the smart contract for the Decentraland, and also the assets that are on the Decentraland DApp. And so basically it's a fully decentralized platform with people controlling everything, right? So that's pretty interesting. From the blog, you can also access their blog and see some of the updates that they have. Again, it kind of has very decent animation, somewhat like Grand Theft Auto 4 or Grand Theft Auto 3 kind of animation, or even Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City kind of animation. So it kind of brings nostalgia to people who play those games. You can also create your own avatar and do so many things. You can participate in the DAO by holding their Mana token. So again, you can also contact them via Discord, and you can also use other social media platforms to contact them as well, which is on their website. You can also sign up for their newsletter and kind of be a part of their newsletter as well. So again, it's a pretty straightforward concept where this platform aims to kind of create a virtual world which is not only more efficient and more fair than the real world, but it also allows for people to interact with other people in the virtual world and also see things that they would probably not see in the real world, and also interact with objects that they wouldn't usually interact in the real world. And it kind of is a kind of metaverse on its own, right? And that's basically what Decentraland is aiming to build. There's a lot of things that you can learn about Decentraland, which I recommend you guys to click on the arrow in the top left corner and access their marketplace, builder, docs, events, as well as their other documents, right? So that's pretty much it for Decentraland. Let's go back to their CoinGecko page. So if you see, this token is currently ranked 83rd by market cap on CoinGecko and is currently trading at 76 cents per token, with a somewhat of a decent dip of 4.8% in the past 24 hours. If you see, the market cap is $1 billion in market cap, but again, for a project that aims to completely be its own metaverse that has its own kind of features, it's already focusing on creating a niche universe in and of itself, and that is basically something that is highly invaluable. And everything that has been available on Decentraland as an NFT is a valuable asset in and of itself, and therefore I think the $1 billion market cap is still extremely undervalued, right? So therefore I think this token can appreciate significantly in price in the next 10 to 20 years, and I think there will be a completely new real estate market demand for all the lands within the Decentraland platform. And you can even see kind of like competition between the virtual land versus the real land, where people who sell land in Decentraland can literally use the profit to buy real world land or properties, right? So that will be something that you'll see much more common especially amongst people who are early adopters of this project. So when it comes to all that future craziness that's going to happen thanks to Decentraland, this market cap is extremely undervalued, right? If you look at the max supply, this token, again, the max supply of this token is 2.1 billion tokens. Again, not the best of tokenomics, but again, if you see, this project is kind of like trying to create its own niche and trying to incorporate several real world people into the crypto space in a very unique way. It's kind of bringing adoption in a very unique way, and it has to do that by either giving an opportunity for people to buy this token at a cheaper cost, so that people feel like they're owning a full mana token, which is something of a psychological boost for people, especially investors, and also for spending things in the game itself. For in-game spending, you will be able to use the mana token, and since it's slightly affordable at this price point, thanks to its max supply, I think it is justified to have such a large max supply, right? But if you take the circulating supply, there's only 1.3 billion tokens in circulation. Again, you can kind of like expect to see price slumping, which is something that you can kind of expect this token to see for the short term. As long as Bitcoin is kind of like moving sideways or slumping, then this token will also be potentially slumping, right? But if you see, this token has only recently underwent its first NFT bull market, right? Being a project that's associated with NFTs, this is considered as an NFT project, and since NFT has had its first bull run, and there's going to be many more bull runs to come in, this is a good opportunity to buy, regardless of how max supply that this token has and how relatively low its circulating supply is with its max supply, right? I think this token is highly invaluable, and this project itself can kind of change so many things about the real world itself. And I think that's something that will make these two parameters, the max supply and the circulating supply, kind of like a less relevant theme for this project, right? If you look at the charts, again, this token was available for quite some time, since 2017, and the price point is available since October 30th of 2017, when this token was worth less than a cent. It was in fact worth 0.9 cent per token. And if you take this token kind of like was moving upwards, and mostly not really great activity all the way till 2021, early 2021, when this token went from being 9 cents all the way to its all-time highs of about $1.50 before coming crashing back down to kind of like the current price points that we're seeing. So if you see the entire, throughout the entire existence of this token, it has only made one all-time highs, right? If you take Bitcoin, which is a revolutionary technology, it has made numerous all-time highs, even Ethereum. So, and if you take any DeFi projects, some DeFi projects have made numerous all-time highs. So when this project has only made one actual proper all-time high, what does that tell you? That tells you that this token has not really kind of seen its true potential yet, and that's something that you need to definitely bear in mind, because this kind of projects are disruptive technologies, especially for gaming, as well as NFTs, as well as even the real world real estate assets in general, right? So people are going to flock into this project as soon as they realize how valuable these virtual lands and virtual properties are. and that's going to drive adoption. And also it's a fun experience to kind of see how far we've come in the field of gaming, right? So all of that is going to make this token incredibly valuable, and I think this project can obviously easily break its previous all-time highs of $1.50 and cross $5, and in the long term I can even see this token reaching $10 easily, right? Despite all the kind of like high max supply as well as relatively low circulating supply of this token, right? If you take the Bitcoin comparative on the other hand, you can clearly see that the chart is very different from its dollar comparative. The Bitcoin Satoshi value initially was 196 Satoshis, but it immediately reached an all-time highs back then of about 1,700 Satoshis, went back down, went back up, and then set like a previous all-time highs of about 2,500 to 2,600 Satoshis per token before coming back down. And then it kind of was very volatile in the Bitcoin comparative, surprisingly, but then it kind of like reached a relative low period or sideways movement during mid last year, when this token was kind of like trading at 458 Satoshis per token, but it had a decent small peak of about 815 Satoshis per token, and then went back crashing down, reaching relative lows of about 251 Satoshi before pumping all the way to its current all-time highs of about 2,700 Satoshis per token mid to late April, right? And then now it's kind of consolidating, but it's also still at a relatively high price point when it comes to Satoshi comparative, right? So I would probably say that if you're planning to buy this token with Bitcoins, you can probably wait because it's still close to its all-time highs. It hasn't cooled down in price point in Bitcoin comparative. So if you want to buy this with Bitcoin, I would probably recommend you to wait. Again, not financial advice. You need to do your own research before you put your money on this token. But if I were you, I'd probably hold off on some of those Satoshis. I'd probably expect this token to go below 1,800 Satoshis pretty soon, and as Bitcoin moves sideways, this token can kind of go lower in Bitcoin Satoshis comparative, right? If you take the Ethereum comparative on the other hand, again, pretty volatile activity indeed for Ethereum as well. The token was worth 3,800 GUI per token, and then it reached an all-time highs of about 60,000 GUI per token. Crashed down, was very volatile, made some decent peaks and decent dumps before making a dip of 8,400 GUI per token, and then going up all the way till crossing its previous all-time high slightly and reaching about 65,000 GUI per token. Now it's kind of like going down, right? Again, I can see this token going down a bit more on the Ether comparative as well. You can probably get this token way below 25,000 GUI per token. But I would probably say that if you're planning to buy this token, the dollar comparative would be the best way to buy this token at a dip, because the Ether comparative as well as Bitcoin comparative can go lower, especially the Bitcoin comparative, right? So if you take the exchanges where it's available, again, it's available in all top exchanges. It's available on Binance. You can buy it with USDT. You can also buy it with Crypto.com, with CRO and BTC, and buy it on Kraken and Huobi Global. So again, a lot of liquidity. It's available on Binance, so I don't think you need to buy it from anywhere else. But if you hold accounts from other exchanges as well, you can pretty much buy it from those exchanges as well, right? I think Decentraland is kind of like one of the premier projects on Ethereum. It's battle tested, it's existed for a long time, and I do think that this project has a high potential to kind of like be one of the top NFT / gaming projects on Ethereum, as well as in the crypto space in general. And I think this token has a high chance of crossing the $5 mark by the end of this bull run. And for the long run, I'm pretty sure that this project can easily cross $10 per token, right? So for a project that with such high potentials, and for a project with so much innovation going on, and they're partnering with multiple different projects every single time, their dollar comparative is also pretty much at a really good dip and good buy opportunity, especially if you're a long-term hodler. I'm planning to get a decent bag of this with my spare dollars, and I think this is a buy and hold, and you can kind of like expect to see significant price appreciation in the next 5 to 10 years. And if you hodl even longer, if you have diamond hands, and if you hodl longer, you can probably even see this price, the price point of this token crossing $10 very easily, right? Again, the opportunities are endless, and this is just the beginning for Decentraland, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.